Hi, I'm Carrie Kaufman, and coming to you from video, but not live video because I I have I have some problems with live. My biggest problem with live is that I have to look at myself as I'm doing this in my iPhone, in this little bitty iPhone, and I have to figure out it's just a really weird thing, and I don't really love doing them, but I'm fine behind a microphone with headphones on and sitting at my computer. I'm just worried that Substack is not going to prioritize this, right? They have an algorithm that's like, ooh, lives, we love lives. I'm having dystopian dreams all night. The last couple of nights, I have dreamt that I was being taken away. I have dreamt that I was watching people be tortured. And it's kind of hard to get through my days when I wake up with those kinds of nights. I really do need to read total escape books from like 8 o'clock on, because if I keep reading Substacks mostly and in the news, it comes into these dreams. So last night I was actually watching Rachel Maddow. And Rachel Maddow had a thing on from the New York Times about a woman in Arizona who was really pissed off because her Social Security office was closed. This is what the person said. "I didn't know you was going to pull this," said Teresa Boswell, who voted for Mr. Trump in November and helped flip Arizona, but who found herself fuming outside the Social Security office in Glendale last week, unable to sign up for $1,200 in monthly benefits as she retired from her job processing legal papers. "This is a joke," she said. So she looked at this reporter from the New York Times and said, "I didn't know he was going to pull this. This is a joke." But she had voted for Trump. She didn't know. Like, he said all the stuff he was going to do. And most importantly, the stuff that he said he was going to do had to do with hurting people. But she was good with that. She was fine with that. She just didn't want to mess with her Social Security, right? Which is like, all we care about is money. All we care about is money, not people. And then one of the last things I saw last night, this came from Jonah Hill, who put a chart up from YouGov that Trump is rapidly losing support in the economy, but not on immigration. And it's in the 90s with MAGA voters. They love the fact that he is sending people out in plain clothes to rip people off the streets. Because they wrote an editorial in a newspaper that he didn't agree with, right? They love the fact that he is punishing people with keffiyehs. They love the fact that over 200 men were ripped out of their homes, out of their cars, and without due process sent to a prison in El Salvador. And now the ACLU estimates that there are about 75% of those men are not gang members and didn't do anything wrong. There is one that the administration copped to and said, "Oh yeah, we that was a mistake." The lawyer who copped to that was fired, or at least put on leave by the administration. So never admit you make a mistake, right? And the Supreme Court this week said, we can wait to bring that guy that the Trump administration admits was picked up by mistake. We can wait and let him stay in that concentration camp in El Salvador just a little longer while we work through our slow courts, and we really don't care about people. By the way, the guy that was the subject of that Supreme Court hearing, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, was driving to his mother's house. Like, he's a green card holder. He is a refugee from El Salvador because he proved that if he was sent back to El Salvador, he would be tortured. And he was driving to his mother's house with his nonverbal 5-year-old son when police pulled them over, picked him up, pulled him out of the car, pulled the son out of the car, handcuffed him, took the father off somewhere, eventually to El Salvador, and took the son somewhere before his family could come and get him. And if this son was making any progress in the school system to get past his nonverbalness, that's gone now. That's gone. Anybody who witnessed that trauma would stop talking. I can't imagine what this kid is going through. And that also breaks my heart and gives me nightmares. I cannot imagine if I'm driving down the street and when my kids were 5 and I got pulled out and taken away, what they would have gone through. So I'm having nightmares. Yeah, good. MAGA is great with all of the things that we're doing to immigrants, with all of the things that we're doing to people who they don't like, mostly people with brown skin. But man, you mess with their money, and woo, we don't like that at all. Which tells us a lot about the world we live in, and it's not just Trump world. It is the world that we've been living in for decades. Your budget, by the way, is what your values are, and our budgets have been to defund schools, to treat teachers horribly and pay teachers horribly, to give people horrible health care and make them jump through hoops when they get sick, because, somebody who is scared and sick is just the perfect person to navigate the healthcare system in this country. So I'm having nightmares. Like this is really a dystopian thing. I'm hearing Scotland is taking refugees from America. I love Scotland. I love cold, damp weather. I grew up in a desert, but I love cold, damp weather, so I'm good with that. My belief in humanity is waning, and I am definitely the most optimistic person you'll ever meet. But my belief in humanity is waning. Wow. Anyway, I hope you all sleep well. Watch this during the day. Do not watch this at night. If you have watched it at night accidentally, I'm really, really sorry. I am going to go find an escape book or something that I can watch. I'm hoping Shonda Rhimes will come up with another series that I could just, get lost in. But I think I'm going to watch old movies, not do anything that I actually have to think about after 7 or 8 o'clock, because I cannot go through these nightmares anymore. Of course, the men in El Salvador, in that concentration camp, I cannot imagine the nightmares they're having. I can't imagine the nightmare they're living. Anyway, this is Carrie Kaufman. And this is my almost daily update dump, whatever you want to call it. I'm working this out, figuring out how to do these videos, and we will see. Thank you.